This actual patch that you're recording on is very, very special because growing up in this area, this was always known as the Green. And this was a joy for all the children, where the children used to always play. And where they've removed like a lot of the garages that used to actually go right across, the children used to always play around and, you know, and on top and everything like that. So it was always like it was like an extra safe house for all the children because you'd have all different communities there. And but the major changes, especially since they removed West Ham football ground,
One, two, 1, 2. Hey ho, 1, 2.
Don't seem to care. I mean nothing to you. I said no.
Test 1 2.
Yep. Yep. Like that. Hi. Hello. Yes. Hi. Okay. So we're going to be going live any minute now, and the film screening will start at 6:40 with a really juicy question and answer session. So stay tuned and get your questions ready. Thank you for joining Creative Wick's film premiere. room can see your lovely faces. Whole drink situation, because of COVID, we know that it's sit-down table service. There's going to be a really nice, helpful person coming around to take your order. So yeah, watch out for that. And the table service will be stopped momentarily so that we can enjoy the film screening without someone interrupting us in serving us drinks. So yeah. So just get your drinks in. I'll make sure someone comes round and helps you do that. Thank you so much for coming. This is terribly exciting. I'm really joyous right now. So enjoy the rest of the night. It starts pretty soon. Okay, thank you. I'm just going to give some love.
Sorry, just to say we're starting in 2 minutes, so grab your drinks, take your seats, and get ready for the screening. Thanks. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the screening for Creative Week Film School 2021. I'm really it's fantastic to see such a great big turnout. Really pleased you've all come to support your fellow filmmakers. We've got most of the filmmakers whose films you're going to see here in the audience tonight. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you for Studio 9294 for hosting the event this evening, putting it on. I mean, making a film is always demanding at the best of times, and this year has been particularly demanding, as we all know, working under the constraints of COVID. And so that's it's doubly impressive that we've managed to get 5 films made to screen for you tonight. It's going to take about 35 minutes. We've got 5 short films. And it's all very much thanks to the initiative of Creative Wick and our sponsors from West Ham Stadium, who've really helped this along. Now I say that we say 2021 as though we've been spending a year getting these films together, but in fact this course, which you may or may not know, is only 10 weeks long. So it's over the last 3 months really that our students, whose films you're going to be seeing tonight, have put these films together from inception, from the idea, through to the shoot and then the edit. And we're really delighted. We've got an incredibly diverse programme. We've got comedy, we've got drama, we've got art film, we've got documentary. I mean, we've got it all. And we're going to be screening the films, 35 minutes, and then we're going to have a quick Q&A with the filmmakers involved. So we've got, just to let you know, you've got your menu in front of you as we lay on this smorgasbord that is Creative Film School. Home slides, first of all, which we've got from Justine Franco O'Kenigan, and that is a thought-provoking drama, which I think you're going to really enjoy. Followed by a real sort of bonkers and beautiful reimagining of Alice in Wonderland from Uswa Ahmed. That's called Run Rabbit. Was it Run Rabbit Run? I don't know, it's one of the two. Then we've got a very powerful spoken word piece by a filmmaker who's unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight, Nicole Adriano Pere, with a piece called That's Why. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot to think about across the whole of this programme tonight. I'm sure you're going to be knocked out by the quality and knocked out by the diversity of what we're going to show you. Then we've got Love in 3 Parts, which is a sort of quirky romantic comedy by Simon Throsell, which I hope you're really going to enjoy. And last but not least, Our Fourth Industrial Revolution, which is a short, sharp, insightful documentary from Kiara Sayat about the impact of technology on young people. So we've got a really great programme. So, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, may I present the films from the alumni of Creative Wick Film School 2021.
This actual patch that you're recording on is very, very special because growing up in this area, this was always known as the Green. And this was a joy for all the children, where the children used to always play. And where they've removed like a lot of the garages that used to actually go right across, the children used to always play around and, you know, and on top and everything like that. So it was always like, it's for all the children, because you'd have all different communities there. And but the major changes, especially since they removed West Ham football ground, the community has suffered major, because now you have a split community, and also what you used to have from the West Ham football ground as well as the business. They brought an atmosphere, unbelievable atmosphere, and especially the West Ham fans, because whether they would win or lose, they're always singing. They're always singing, you know, and they would congregate in all the pubs, would come out. So that created a major atmosphere. Even just walking along that, you know, with the crowd, you had the atmosphere. And the moment that was removed, the whole community just went flat. All the businesses went flat, because now there was like an emptiness, right? So rather than the community coming together, the community become more isolated, and the community has actually come apart, you know? And which is a shame, really, because communities are meant to be together, you know, because there's an old saying, and it's called safety in numbers, right? So people wouldn't even know each other. They might just go to the market, they'd see each other, they'd all smile at each other, and that's how the community is knitting together and keeping each other safe. And then you get to know each other's families, each other's friends, so everyone's actually looking out for everyone, you know. So it's so vital and important, and that seems to be happening right across the borough, right across the whole of Newham. This all isolation. Bring back the community again, make people feel more safe again. But what's happening is the reverse is happening, and they're building up a lot of these places, and now you find a lot of people can't afford these places. So what's actually happening is you're pushing out the heart of the community out, right, to bring in all these so-called entrepreneurs and you know, highly financial people. So therefore you have an emptiness, you have a shell, and what that means is eventually nothing will mean nothing. Because the only time something can mean something is when you've got the heart there, when you've got the community there, when you've got the old school people there can say, this was such and such. Remember when we was going up there? And and when they pass on, their children can say the same thing. But when you take everything away, you have just an emptiness, because these entrepreneurs will always come and go. And that's all I can tell you for now.
No, that was great. Thank you so much.
As you grab me by my waist and plant kisses on my neck, I freeze. Shock slides from my spine down to my feet. Suddenly I can't breathe. Not again. You tug on my hair. I gasp in despair. You notice, but you don't seem to care. I mean nothing to you. I said no. I screamed stop. You heard yes, take off my top. I'm fighting and fighting. You're still trying non-stop. I'm scared. Eventually I got away, but I'm still scarred to this very day, left with bruises marked with your name. It haunts me. Now I don't talk to men too tough. When I do, I'm asked, why do you flinch so much? My beautifully made body that I spent years trying to love was wrongfully touched. That's why.
Miss Honeywell would make a good assistant to any sales manager. He, she, or it replies, assistant, nothing. I'd make someone a very good wife.
My name is Timothy West. I identify as a male. I was born on the 25th of April 1996 in San Francisco, California. I'm 5'10" and I weigh 76 kilograms. I run 3 times a week and my fastest 5K is 23 minutes and 24 seconds.
I'm called Hannah Evans. My pronouns are she, her. My place of birth is London, United Kingdom. I measure 5'2" inches. I weigh 54 kilograms. I exercise twice a week and can run for 30 minutes without stopping.
Oh! I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
Yes. Fine. And you?
Fine, thanks.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's one way to make an introduction.
Pretty abysmal opening line from me there. I could have said something better like, you don't need all that bright gear, baby. Nobody can miss you.
But he had this certain charm about him.
Which would have been kind of ironic.
They say a typical love story has 3 parts.
Because I did in fact miss her, hence our collision.
And part 1 is the introduction.
So, is this your first time running here?
It is. I did that NHS run 5k, donate £5, nominate 5 people thing, and then I sort of signed up seriously to it all. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Different times.
Oh yes. How about you?
Same. I just think it's something fun to do, like a game almost.
Yeah.
Are you training for anything in particular?
I am. Yeah, the big event at the Olympic Park in a couple of weeks, actually. Yeah, I saw the notification and I thought, why not give it a shot? This is the time to be trying these new things, and if it doesn't work out, I'll still take a nice boomerang by the rings. Yeah. Shall we walk? Oh, you really should.
Some of my friends are on the waiting list, so who knows, maybe I'll stick my name down.
Oh, definitely.
We can even race each other.
No way. Nope. I will make sure we are as far away from each other as possible.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, not in a bad way, just, I mean, look at you.
Look at me.
Your shoes. Look at your shoes.
Oh, these? Yeah, I picked them out the other day. I think they make me look like a teenager and put some youth back in this worn-out old body. You don't look too bad yourself.
Oh, thanks. I just go for like style over substance. You know, what looks good rather than any sort of actual running benefit. Like, you know, you can get those like shoes that say +1 performance or +3
Aerodynamic?
Yeah, that. But it's all rather user unfriendly for like an amateur like me, so.
Well, I think it suits you very well.
Thanks.
Did you know the Japanese swear by drinking several glasses of room temperature water every day to stop them from catching cancer?
Where did that come from?
I think the 7th century?
No, I meant the fact. Random water thing about catching cancer.
Oh, I think that's my way of trying to impress you.
Cancer? Very charming.
Look, I know we've only just met and this might seem quite forward, but do you want to get dinner sometime this week?
What?
I want to keep talking to you, and everything's been so surface level. I think if we talk a bit more about water, you know, the Japanese, cancer, then we'll get a connection.
Ah, I get it.
Get what?
This is how you get women to fall in love with you.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you bump into them when out running, you bring them to a lake like out of a love story, and then you invite them to dinner under the guise of wanting to develop a connection.
Well, has it worked?
Guess you'll have to see. On Thursday at 6 p.m, won't you? See you then.
Wait, I don't even know your real name.
It's Hannah. Hannah Evans. Add me.
I'm Timothy West.
Part 2 is always the conflict.
Hello there. Hello there. And then you're supposed to say, General Kenobi. You okay?
Yeah, not too bad. You?
Good. Good.
That's cool.
I was running in Victoria Park again last week and I didn't see you.
Oh, yeah, that's because I've been trying out a different location. Here, in fact. Yeah, this one's got more hills, more routes, off-road bits and whatnot, so I can train a bit better for the big race next week.
Oh, cool. It's nice to see you again. I was a bit worried since you hadn't been in touch since our dinner. If you're wondering how our dinner went, it was...
Mediocre.
Palatable.
At best.
I had the rabbit.
You had the rabbit.
She had a legume. Weirdo.
A rabbit.
Apparently, she's a vegan.
Has he not seen Watership Down?
Which is odd, because I always thought vegans had blue hair.
And he drank like a fish.
She didn't drink much. The Japanese would not be proud. And worst of all, most of the time her eyes weren't even on me.
Plus, he did this weird thing with his mouth when he ate, like...
Oh, that much of an eyesore.
I just felt there was a bad...
I felt like we had a poor connection. Do you want to run this segment with me?
I'm alright, but thank you.
We could help each other break our PB.
No, I'd rather do it on my own.
Are your legs feeling stiff?
Actually, it's more, I think...
Are your arms getting tired?
Timothy, we need to
Hannah,
just
is your head feeling sore?
leave it for a bit. Give it some time to cool down. You know.
What makes you say that?
I think you know why.
I haven't the foggiest idea why.
Just leave it, alright?
Oh no, I'd rather not.
Seriously.
Fine, have it your way.
Fine.
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 Fine!
Fine!
I was joking about the shoes, by the way. They actually look terrible on you.
Oh, just go! I don't want to play these games with you.
Part 3 is always the resolution, right?
But it can also be the twist.
So, do you still want that boomerang?
The fourth industrial revolution is, that's a good question.
It's not something that's going to be happening in the future. It's something happening right now, and there's elements of it already in our everyday life.
The fourth industrial revolution is awareness of what technology is doing to society.
The fourth industrial revolution is about improving life conditions, is about evolution of society as a whole.
Technology can now learn from itself without human interaction.
I think this one is supposed to bring about the most equality between everyone, even though we know that's not true.
The most exciting thing I find is how efficient we as humans can actually be now.
You can literally work anywhere with an internet connection.
We can use algorithms to benefit us as a society.
Have you ever been on your phone and you search something up or you said something and then all of a sudden it's all over your phone?
It could be through social media like TikTok, which is taking over our lives, or Snapchat or Instagram.
Like Facebook, Amazon, they all become more easier to use. All these different ways that they're trying to make money off us, off our information.
Social media impacts your mental health a lot, and I think it's something sometimes to just get away from the realities of your world and your current situations.
There could be a large use of technology and electronics when it comes to gene engineering. It's a question of when are we as a generation and are we as a society going too far? When do we cross the line of trying to help people or us trying to change people?
Jobs that we're not aware of will be opening up, and jobs that we are aware of will be destroyed by technology.
We think we're on the right path, but we could kill our planet in the next 5 years with what we're doing.
People often see it through movies as it being robots taking over the world, or it being people losing their jobs and becoming unemployed. And I feel as though people's lack of knowledge as a whole is what's making them scared.
I think it will get out of hand and robots will take over. It sounds very sci-fi, like a movie, but the more that young people are aware of this happening, the more easier it is for us to prepare ourselves. That creates a revolution.
There's huge potential to educate young people about the fourth industrial revolution, to help raise the awareness around what role technology is playing in their lives. Things have been the way they have been for so long because people haven't had a voice, whereas now, because of technology, people have a voice. I think people's voices will be heard. It is our job as young adults to be as aware as possible of what's going on around us.
It's us using our knowledge of technology and electronics and being able to apply it for the greater good.
I think a leader is someone who stands out and wants to do something their own way, even if no one's following them.
The older generation needs to learn from the younger generation. We choose how we want to build the future. The future's not being written yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 20... Absolutely fantastic. What a result, as I said. There's everything to be happy and proud about there. Some great films, and we're lucky to have 4 of the filmmakers present this evening. And I'm going to ask them to come up, and we're just going to have a few questions about their films, their individual films. So I'm just going to move this round a bit, so we're going to need to spread a little bit. So I'll have 2 of you on here, 2 of you on there, and then I'll go over there somewhere. And I've got wipes for the mic. So Kiara, come on, Kiara. Simon Drossel, what's wrong, man? Trip down the rabbit hole. And Justine. All right. Brilliant, brilliant. Oh, well, thanks, guys. Fantastic. How was it getting your film screen there? Okay, was it good? I thought they all sat together really well. What's really impressed me is the variety and the individuality that you've brought to your films. But first of all, what I do want to say, because I can see Rosie, is Sandra here as well. Oh, Sandra! Oh, I didn't see you there. Fantastic. We haven't got Richard or Gary here, unfortunately, but these filmmakers here have been aided and abetted really brilliantly by our team of mentors, of which we have two here. We've got Rosie Woods over there, Sandra Chiamponi over there, and as I say, absent tonight, Gary Georgieva and Richard Canham, filmmakers all. And yeah, I think you've done a terrific job, guys, and I want to make sure, before I forget, that we don't forget how instrumental you were in helping tonight happen. But I hope you're feeling really proud. And everyone can wave to their mentors. Wave to your mentors, guys. Fantastic. Okay, well, I'm just going to kick off with a couple of questions that I'm burning to ask everybody about their films, just so we can get a sense of how it is, how it's been, and then I just want to, if anybody's got any questions in the audience, I'll pick those up, field them over, and then we can all get to mingling and drinking as you will for the rest of the evening. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start going this way, and I have bacterial wipes for the microphone, so we'll begin with you, Justine, and then... So, I mean, Home Slice, I know that's been... it's almost two films in one, Home Slice. I'm going to sit down now. Almost two films in one. What was the originating idea for that film?
So I had the idea for Home Slice like 3 years ago when I had just left college. And I live in Upton Park, so a lot of like changes were happening, and so I had West Ham Stadium, and was growing up with like West Ham Stadium really close, and just having like all these memories of like the community and like just it always being bubbly and stuff around my area. And then when West Ham Stadium had moved, and just like how I could see the changing environment around me, and so I had watched this play, which is my favorite play, called Misty by Rinze Kene, and it's about gentrification, and it was like a beautiful moment of like, wow, this is what has been going on in my head, and I was like, I really want to make something around the same kind of topic. And in the play, it's like a metaphor. He uses the metaphor of like a virus, and like infecting the city and people moving out. And so I wanted to do something that was a metaphor of like the people changing. And so I used the metaphor of like people going missing. And so yeah, that's the film.
Yeah, brilliant. And I mean, it's a lot about displacement and identity to me as well. That really came over. And ably abetted as well by your cast. I know...
yeah, my best friend Steffi.
I know, but what a performance. So a round of applause. Really, really absorbing performance. So tell me a little bit about the kind of the challenges you faced making that movie.
So originally when I had the idea, it was kind of like a Black Mirror episode in my head. And so I imagined it to be like very, like, it was like a big budget idea in my head. And so when I came to the program and I said the idea and how I might do something, I think Josephine was the one that suggested it, about maybe doing something mixed media, because I was interested in that type of stuff and I'd made something like in that style before. And so she gave me the idea to like try and do it in a different way. And so I was like, okay, let me try and push myself. But it was really difficult to try and like minimize everything that was going on in my head at the time. But yeah, it was really, really fun. And it was literally just me and my two friends running around like with a camera around London. But yeah, it was really, really fun.
Well, good. I mean, that sense of mood and displacement and confusion really came over. And that's, you know, one of the things I love about film is how it kind of opens a door for you as a viewer into going, oh yeah, but of course. And I can imagine how that feels. And so I thought that came together brilliantly. I mean, I think what we'll do is, as we go along, everyone, we'll just quickly see whether anyone in the audience has got any questions about Home Slice, the first film we saw. Anyone got a burning question about Home Slice? How long did it take you to edit that, by the way?
I don't know.
So no,
'cause
we
it
were
was-
editing right to the
Yeah.
wire, as has been the case in a lot of these films. That and something as complicated and dense as Home Slice must have taken a while.
Yeah, I didn't know how long it took me. I kept like going back to it and trying to cut it more because there was just so much footage to look through. So it was really difficult. And trying to tell the story silently was really difficult for me to try and communicate. But yeah, I don't know how long, but I just kept going back and forth with it really.
Yeah.
And trying to leave the idea, come back to it. And
Well,
see.
Simon's actually got a question for us.
I was wondering about the credits when you chatted to that guy. Did that just spontaneously happen?
Yeah, so that was funny. That was the morning of the first. So it took like 3 days to shoot, and on the first day, we were shooting in the park, which is the scene with both of the people, and. As we were like getting out the equipment, people were walking by and looking, and so this guy just approached me, and I was like, "Oh, is he gonna steal my stuff?" And then he was like, "Oh, what are you filming?" And so I was telling him about the idea about gentrification. He was like, "Oh, wow, this is a great place to shoot," because he grew up in the area as well, and it was like 10 minutes away from me. And so he started telling me about the area, and I was like, "Wait, can I just record you, please?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So then I just recorded him, and it was like, "Wow, that's literally perfect." So yeah.
Oh, that's
I thought
interesting
I'd
as well,
add it.
because when I saw it at the end, I thought, oh, was that the inspiration that began the film? But no, somehow his arrival folded into
Yeah.
what you were doing.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was a really unexpected twist and really sort of drove it home and expanded what you've been watching and put a whole new spin on what you'd just seen. So yeah, I thought that was terrific. Yeah, thanks for that film. Do we have any questions for Justine and Home Slice before we pass the mic and head on down the rabbit hole? Any thoughts or questions? No? Well, great. Well, please, round of applause for Justine and Home Slice. Very proud. Let me just give you a wipe for that mic and then pass it on to Uswa. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Uswa Ahmed now. Oh, we got an online question. Oh, right. Who's that for? Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have that after. Yeah, they're everyone questions. Good. Yeah, we got questions coming in online. This is so 21st. This is so 2021, isn't it? Okay. So, Uswa. Your film, which there is also going to be, I have to say, all these films are going to be available online afterwards. So if you want to revisit them or tell your friends about them, get them to look at it. They're going to be available online. Not quite sure when, but soon. There will be a director's cut, ladies and gentlemen, of Run Rabbit Run, because we do have an extended version which we'll be putting up there. But tell us a little bit about the thinking, and I know there was a lot of thinking and a lot of ideas were flying around when you finally launched yourself into this project. What happened there?
Like I really love film, but I just didn't really know what
Just a bit closer.
Hello. I didn't know how to like get into it, and I just like finished uni, and I just wanted to get stuck in, and I actually made this on my phone, so. Just say, but it's like 9 minutes long if you want to catch the longer version.
Yeah, that's one where you have to sit back, relax,
yeah.
and just go down the rabbit hole. Absolutely.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know how to describe it. I just like kind of just freehanded it. I'm not really sure like what I made, but I'm glad it exists. So I think it can only get better from here because I just wanted to experiment. I think my whole idea was I didn't want to take it too like seriously because when I take things too seriously, which actually I ended up doing with this, I would just like edit and like keep ruminating on it, and I just wanted to just make something, and I ended up so asking my friends to like come help me, and we shot it on my phone, and we terrorized people on the London Underground with the rabbit mask, and yeah, so.
Well, I mean, exactly, you had fun, and I think what's really nice about that film is a sense of kind of joy and playfulness that you get from it, and it's a constant reminder to me, and working with all of you guys has been a reminder about the way that film can express so many different emotions, take you in so many different directions. And I love that. I really liked the bit where you grow giant and you're stalking around London in a puff of smoke. So just tell us a little bit about how you manage that setup at home with your phone.
So basically, I borrowed Tim's green screen, and like the neighbors were just staring, like, "What is this girl doing? Is she okay?" But I just put the camera on the chair in the corner, and like made myself look really giant. Did like all this movement, and made myself like go really slow. And then I just put in like stock footage, and was just like, "What the hell am I watching? Like, what am I doing? Are people gonna get it?" But I had a lot of fun making it, so that's
yeah, fantastic. No, and I think we have a lot of fun enjoying it. I still really like watching that film, just because you always see something new in it every time you look at it. There's a hell of a lot of work, probably. But the other thing about it, which I'm really pleased you brought up, was the filming on the phone. I mean, now we have these phones, we know what they're capable of. Fantastic, thanks to the Fourth Industrial Revolution and whatnot. But we've got phones that we can make films on. And that was one of the other things that we talked about a lot, I think, over the course, is that democratization, that availability. If you've got your idea and you've got that tenacity and just to go out and get it done, it's possible. And I think that's a really special time we're living in. I mean, at the moment, there's no better time to get into film. I was talking to a friend. Also, one of the things we've done along the course of this is we've had lots of talks from various people. We're looking if we'd have our sound advisor, Bill Rudolph, over here, who gave us a talk about. But we've had input from all sorts of different filmmakers. But Bill was just talking about how you can't at the moment hire a camera for love nor money because there's so much stuff being made. I mean, we're in a golden era now where there's just so much content being made, and there are gateways for you, as you know, if you've got aspirations towards working in film. There are things.
So it's like, I think it's really difficult to just get in, especially like being a woman of color. You don't see a lot of filmmakers that are doing like the experimental thing, and I just really wanted to push that, go in that direction, because like people like me, we don't really usually go towards things that are kind of, you know, out there and abstract. And I was just like, I'm just gonna do it. And whatever I made, I mean, it's not exactly like, I'm not Alfred Hitchcock, but like one day, hopefully, if you stay tuned, if you want to help me, tell me. And yeah, but I do agree with the idea that it does democratize it, and it broadens that access for people who just want to just get something done. And Home Slice was, by the way, amazing. It's so good. So, but like, yeah, so I'd love to make, I can't wait for my next thing, which hopefully will be weirder and better quality than what we saw today.
I really look forward to it. A lot of love in the room, and a lot of love in that film, ladies and gentlemen. Uzma Ahmed. That's really brilliant. Yeah. Wipe away and pass. Oh, he's got a question.
Okay.
All right.
A lot of it was going on about how it's experimental, but I thought it was really deliberately experimental. So in the way that you look like you really crafted it, almost like frame by frame. So I'd like to know a bit more about that structured process.
So a lot of the times, because I'm not I have a really scattered brain where I just can't like put certain ideas together in like a concrete way. So what I do is, if I like the look of something, I'll be like, oh, okay, how can I make this weird, or how can I make this uncomfortable? And I don't think I've answered your question, but.
It's all in the process.
It's the process, okay? It's all about being an artiste. I don't know, Simon, okay? I don't have the answer.
That's
I
okay.
I free-handed it, or I'm a genius.
Yeah, no, brilliant work again. So, yeah, thank you very much. And on to Mr. Simon Throssell, who did Love in Three Parks for us. So, Simon, yeah, I mean, that's... I know you got the germ of that idea, certainly, when you came on board. A lot of these ideas have been generated during the process. But like Justine, you got the idea for this film when you came onto the course. So you were already very, very focused on that. So tell me where the original idea for Three Parks came from.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. I I come from this sort of small town, Leighton Buzzard. Probably never many of you heard of it. Probably my parents watching will cheer. But it's a town where love is if someone holds your hand at a disco. Like, that's a great love story. But coming to London and discovering like the magic of the parks, and we're so blessed with all these green spaces that I thought, well, why not come up with this idea of love in 3 parks? Like, people say love comes in 3 parts. There's an intro, there's always conflict, there's a resolution. What happens if we switch that to 3 of London's great parks, Victoria Park, Hackney Downs, and the Olympic Park? So then sort of mould on that idea and formed it into the final film.
Great, and I mean, you cited a lot of influences as well, in terms of the style. So it was a very distinct style. Where do those influences come from?
Yeah, I think during the lockdown, certainly tried to expand my cinema intake. So I was influenced by a lot of French films, as well as some more like people like Woody Allen, people like Wes Anderson in a way, people like auteurs, so people like Paul Thomas Anderson, who really focus on the style rather than the substance. So I try to involve that, but add in my own stamp to it.
Yeah, great. And so how was it, because I know that you'd made a couple of forays into filmmaking before, and I think a lot of the time you've been working with friends, but this one you actually went through a casting process with professional actors. How was that?
I did, and one of them's here today. Kate is.
Oh,
she's lit up by the red light.
Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't see it in the back there.
I think for many weeks when I was calling Rosie, my mentor, I was saying, I haven't got anyone in the cast. So I put it up on this casting website and received about 30 applications in 2 hours. And then whittled down that process and found brilliant people in Kate and Aram, and dealing with people that came to the set with learning the lines, and they knew it word by word, block by block, so we could just shoot and get it done. And it was such a brilliant thing to work with people who love their job, love film. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I worked on that as well, and I was so impressed by you guys' professionalism and the way you go, just the gung-ho attitude. And I think that's hopefully. So tell me about some of the firsts for you in the process of making this film. Obviously, casting and working with actors. Were there other elements that were new to you?
It was the first thing of trying to develop a world. My previous films that I tried to make were a lot more scattered ideas and not much cohesion between what was going on. So this one, I really tried to create a sense that when watching it, you would be involved in their world. In each park, you would be as if you were there with them. That's why they're talking to camera, they're talking to you. So it's really about the structured side of the story, as first into casting, and sort of first into cinematography with the help of the fabulous Tim, that we started shooting extra little bits that you wouldn't think of, the things, the ducks flying across the pond, people fighting in the park. That was a good metaphor for conflict. So I think really the whole program really taught me about structure is key. It's important to just take a step back from the process and think of it not just as dotted ideas everywhere, but to really take your time with being creative.
Yeah, wonderful. And yeah, definitely that. You took your time, but also I was very impressed by your focus, and you know, you managed to deliver your film and you had your film ready in time. There was a lot of that sort of element of discipline, which, you know, I know from having, you know, young sons of my own as well during this time who are in education or are just coming out of education, whatever. It's been very difficult sometimes on all sorts of levels for people to kind of hunker down, get things done. And there's nothing more that says I got something done more than actually getting a film up there on screen. So, I mean, all power to you, and congratulations. Do you got any questions for Simon on 3 parks? Or a couple flying about. Your hand was up first.
Well, your film was really good, by the way. I just wanted to ask about your decision to link, like, for example, Victoria Park to introduction. Like, why, was that decision deliberate, or was it just...
I'll just for that, for anyone who might not have heard it, it was about the decision to use those parks. Was it a deliberate decision to link those 3 parks?
Yeah, thank you for your kind words. It's I think the Victoria Park there's the pagoda that I was really interested by. I would cycle past and think, oh, that's quite romantic. I would like to take someone there. So I think in the introduction, when they're a bit awkward, they've bumped into each other, but then they start sort of developing a connection. I thought, well, going by the water, going by the pagoda is quite a loving thing. The second park, Inside Scoop, that's actually filmed in another part of Victoria Park, but we passed it off as a second park. That's just a worn out old branch falling on the floor. When trees shed their leaves, when things are cut down, that's like a sign of bad, so sort of conflicts. And then at the end, the Olympic Park, always wanted to shoot by the Olympic rings. It's the sign of glory. She wins the race, she gets a medal, and they fall in love and live happily ever after. So that was the choice between the three.
Great, and we got another question over here.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I love like the way that the actors looked at the camera, and to kind of heralds back to kind of classic British sitcoms, which, I mean, Miranda isn't a classic, well, I guess it is, but Miranda is a very kind of widely moving club, and I guess I just wondered what was the decision behind that, and also what's next after Love Story and 3 Parks.
Good question. I'll just rephrase that. It was the decision to have the actors talking direct to camera. Where did that emerge from? And what's next? Indeed.
Thank you for the good question. That's my housemate, by the way. So I've planted him in here. In answer to my question, I think talking to camera is an interesting thing. You don't. Fleabag has certainly popularized it when they do that. But I think for me, it added to this idea that there was a game at the end. So in a game, characters interact with each other, then there's a cutscene where they then talk to the camera. So it was trying to give you a hint right from the start that there was going to be a twist in Park 3. And what's next? Well, I think that the idea of love in 3 blank can be into lots of different things. I'm currently writing this thing called A Love Story in 3 Beaches, which is set in Cornwall and uses traditional Cornish dialects to tell the story of a love story on 3 beaches.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Throssell. And last, I've got a fresh wipe for you here, should you desire. Just on the top of it there, that's fine. Just right, good. I'm sure the mic will survive. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, Chiara Sayat, who directed the Fourth Industrial Revolution film we were lucky enough to see at the end of the programme. Chiara, thanks for your film. I mean, I think, did you have this idea for this film before we started the course, or was it one that emerged? How did that idea emerge?
This was actually always in the back of my mind, something I've had to kind of do. It was a plan B. My first initial one, as Sandra knows, my mentor, was quite experimental as well. I wanted to focus it on music as that's something that's very important to me. But within that, and I think within this program, I found that, you know, this is my first time writing kind of a script for things. It's always been quite freehand as well. I've done like just simple, basic social media stuff. So this was like the first time I've done something more serious. So yeah, this was part of my work with the Badu Sports, who are an amazing company, and they work within Hackney. Their offices are in Here East, hence why I was able to film there. And they empower young people through sport, and all of the young people in the film were actually part of the mentoring group. So it's, for me, you know, the video was just like the beginning. It's just food for thought, really. I'd call it a documentary, although it doesn't offer the information or all of the story. I think the main, well, I've gone off on a tangent here.
No,
That's crazy.
That is fine. No, I mean there are because of course the difference is very different when you're just like plunging into a documentary like that. Because although you have a structure, and I know you had a structure through talks with your mentor Sandra, you are kind of opening, a lot of this gets made sense of in edit. So tell us a little bit about the process that you went through with that edit, with the edit on that film.
With the edit, so there was, a lot of this was interviews, and there was like 2 hours of footage of the young people talking. The I don't know if you saw, but Alistair, he's like the one mentor that had kind of talked to the group and was leading them within, giving them the information about the Fourth Industrial Revolution, about the discussions and arguments. So, sorry, the question.
No, it was about that was about how you obviously you
the edit.
Yeah, the edit. But
Okay.
I mean, while you're on that subject, the casting of it, because
Yeah.
what is great, I think, because I just have to point this out. I don't know if you've had a birthday since you started. Have you had a birthday since you started this thing? Because Kiara is our youngest student on this course, just 16 years old.
I'm 17.
You just turned 17.
I'm 17. Yeah.
You're 17 now. Fine. Great. Well, you're still our youngest student on this course. And what I really thought was great about this, it was a young person. It was young people talking to another young person. That felt that came off the screen. And so because of that, I think we got a really sort of very direct communication, and something that you wouldn't necessarily get if a big film crew had marched in there and sat down, and somebody like me had sat down and started asking them questions about the Fourth Industrial Revolution. So I like the personal approach you took there. How did you corral everybody into agreeing to be in your film?
As I said, I'm part of the mentoring group myself, so a lot of these people were my friends, and within like the first 5 minutes, they were comfortable enough to talk on camera. So I'm glad that they were able to I'm glad that I was able to make them feel at ease and be able to talk like this, because, you know, with young people in the media, you sometimes you don't, well, most of the time there's not much coverage about us and about the amazing things that, you know, all of us are up to. So I think that this film is just different. Like if you search up Fourth Industrial Revolution, you see the World Economic Forum. I'm not watching that. So if I was able to relate it to young people and about kind of, as well as Hackney, you know, this film was kind of bridging the gap between the young people here in Hackney and the use of the Here East space, because I think that, you know, the young people here need to be involved, and they need to have those opportunities to be part of the development and like the rapid changes that's going on in Hackney right now. Like, we can't be left behind. So I hope that this film was able to kind of capture that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting how so many of the films, well, I'm just thinking specifically of actually yours and Justine's, but there's that sense of dealing with change that's very much a concern right now. You know, we're dealing with change, and yet we're stuck in this strange kind of netherworld of COVID lockdown. But I really think it's good the way you kind of targeted that interest. And actually brought this sense of change, and it was, you know, I found it incredibly fresh and interesting, and also snappy, and a hell of a lot of footage as well as your interviews. Obviously, your interview technique was good because you let people talk, you drew it out of them. But how long did it take you to accumulate all those shots we saw there?
Maybe I made them too comfortable, because there was an hour of like each person was ready to talk for the whole of England. So yeah, the narrative, the kind of just getting the keywords and like the most striking bits took quite a lot of time. That was probably the main bit, but also a lot of like the stock footage and trying to get the right visuals as well. That took quite a long time.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So, but it's here, it's done, and to be fair, it was challenging because I am like a full-time student, and this has like it was taking up my weekends a lot, but it was worth it now that I'm here and like I'm able to share my work. I'm able to meet the people online and just talk to all the mentors and people who were able to make this happen.
Absolutely. Have we got any questions for Kiara on her Fourth Industrial Revolution film? We've got a question from Simon.
Yeah, Tim was talking about how it's really snappy. I was thinking, if you had, say, half an hour, 45 minutes, how would you develop it?
I don't think I'd want to. Because really, I don't know. As I said, perhaps this is just from like the way that I use technology or how us young people do. But they mentioned it here, like the kind of attention span that we have and stuff. I'm just used to kind of the shorter films and kind of just get food for thought, keywords just thrown at you and something that you can just easily share with your friends or whatnot. But in terms of like 30 minutes to 45, that's a lot of work, first of all.
It is a lot of work, and that's a lot of footage to sift through. Yeah. But it's good that such a film like that can really whet the appetite and you go, oh, I'd like to know more about that, because it's not something that's bandied about that often, really. You know, I was going, oh, Fourth Industrial Revolution. Oh, yes, of course, we're in it. But sometimes it can not be that. But, yeah, I just thought you did a terrific job. You all did a fantastic job. Have we got any questions? We've got some questions online. I'm going to go to the computer.
One is for Chiara. Does she believe the Fourth Industrial Revolution can be a force for good?
Do you believe the Fourth Industrial Revolution can be a force for good?
I do think so, because if we can take this like input, put it into perspective, the Fourth Industrial Revolution includes just us being, as they said, more aware of technology, and you could say that these events and us being able to host this online as well as in person, and yeah, I think that the technological advancements can be used for good with the right platform and with young people being involved and being aware of kind of the future, their prospects and all the change that's going on.
So we'll be able to fight off the robots if they try and take over the world.
I think so.
It's a positive note.
This is for everyone. How did you cope with filming during lockdown?
Filming during lockdown? Well, I'll tell you, we were very lucky in that lockdown was eased just before everybody launched into filming. So we've been very high on like health and safety, and I was banging on about, oh, we must, you know, wearing the masks, which we still adhered to. But luckily, the rules had relaxed just when we started going out in the cameras. I think just a couple of days before we went out shooting in the park, we were suddenly going, oh, okay, yeah, right, we're outside. There's less than 6 of us. We can shoot in the park. But I did bang on about it quite a lot. How about, did anyone struggle with the COVID regs on your shoots? Seeing if you got the mic, Chiara.
Yeah, mine was okay. As I said, I had permission to film in here East, and at that time it was like maximum of 6 people, and we were able to pass this on as like an educational thing. So yeah, I was able to film without any worries.
Anyone, anything to add to that in terms of the COVID side of things, particularly? No, I mean, we managed was the answer, but were we cooped up in a small area, we'd have. It's just a pain, and it has been a pain. It has forced this whole course online. So this whole course has been conducted online. This is the first time, apart from seeing Simon, that we've actually, because I was filming alongside him, and I popped in on your shoot, Chiara, but by and large, this is the first time these guys have seen each other for certain. So that's been another one of those constraints which I feel like really like, yeah, we managed to overcome. So delighted to say that's the case, yeah. Any other questions coming in?
And another one for everyone, is there a particular scene that they enjoyed filming?
Your particular scene, surely everybody. Simon, what about your particular scene there? Everyone used their wipes, very good.
I'm sure Kate would be able to say otherwise, but we were filming on top by the Olympic rings, which is a great backdrop, but absolutely freezing cold. So it was literally shoot, cut, coats on, and then take them off. And there's in one scene you can actually still see Aaron wear his coat. So it was cold, but I think the whole scene of just it being in the Olympic Park, of the great design that it is, and it does make you feel victorious and feel you like there's a sense of achievement there. So all this Park 3, the happy ending, that was for me.
Brilliant. Ursula, have you got a favourite scene? She has.
Definitely. My favourite scene was wearing the rabbit mask and running around on the underground. It was so much fun. Like, we scared so many people, and we got kicked out as well. That was really fun. And yeah, and the green screen part, like it was just so fun. I was just like being so weird, and like I just wonder what people think I was doing. But yeah, that was my favorite part.
Brilliant. Justine. Oh yeah.
For me, so it was like the second day that we shot, and it was just me and my friend Steffi who's in it, and I was on the top deck of the bus with the camera on my shoulder, just like positioning myself around the bus, and there were so many people like, what is this girl doing? And I'm just like gassing my friend up and just like, oh my gosh, she looks so good, this is so sick. And I was just really excited about it. But yeah, that was fun, just like being free on the bus, because I thought we like get in trouble for shooting on the bus because I didn't ask for permission. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, we like a little bit of guerrilla filmmaking every now and again, although we did seek many permissions, I have to point out. Is that, well, I mean, I think that's the fun we had making those films is the point to leave that chat. But I just want to say we have thanked, of course, Creative Wick, Will Chamberlain, who is head honcho of Creative Wick, for setting this up, and of course West Ham Foundation. He's there now. But I do want to make a really, really heartfelt, very special thank you to the linchpin of this operation, and I think the students and the mentors know who I'm talking about when I say, ladies and gentlemen, the unsung hero, Creative Wick Film School 2021, Josephine Chime, ladies and gentlemen. Made it all happen. Banging those emails, hammering on the door, demanding films in time for this screening, and lots of chivvying along, cheerleading, and general air of great positivity that you brought to that. So I just wanted to thank Josephine Chime very much, and I just wanted to thank all the students for their dedication and their hard work. And I tell you what, it's grassroots stuff like this, Creative Wick Film School, that gives people a voice that wouldn't normally have a voice, that opens doors to possibilities that they may not normally have glimpsed or thought about, and it certainly helps those people with those aspirations in film, and long may you all prosper and make your way in whichever route you choose. But it's grassroots things like this school, and I think we should value them. If you're getting interested in taking part the next time it gets run, get in touch. But I just want to thank you all for coming, and I want to thank these guys for making some top films, and I just want to say thank you very much.
I'm basically taking this microphone off him now, because I also have to say thank you so much, Tim Newton, please. Honestly. So, this man went above and beyond what we kind of like wanted him to do. He really felt it, and he really just soaked up all what he needed to do and gave out so much passion and also expertise. Just like it's a gold mine, a massive gold mine, and I really don't think that the films wouldn't have been top notch as they are now if it wasn't for him really guiding the mentors, really guiding the students. And we have like the best amazing educational pack that he like gave out, like everything to like call sheets, films, technical jargon and all that stuff. It's like, I'm just so thankful, Tim, honestly, because you just made it quality, absolute quality. So please give a round of applause to Tim Newton. Thank you. Woo. Thank you so much. Yeah. And just one more thing. We also have to say thank you to West Ham Foundation, because they really just gave us the funding to do it. So yeah, thank you so much. And then also, I think it's called is it Footworks? That also gave us some funding? Footwork Trust, okay. Thank you, Footwork Trust. Yeah, thank you for that. And all of the guest speakers, because we had like weekly group network meetings, and the guest speakers, Bill Rudolph, am I saying your name correctly? Sure. Yes? And then Akinola Davis Jr., and then Will Carr, and then also Andy Gent. Andy Gent. Yes, so thank you so much. And also to our mentors, Sandra, Gary, Richard and Rosie. I haven't said their last names, sorry, because I don't want to butcher them, but they also just gave so much. And that's the testament to why the films that you saw, including the amazing students who were like absolutely talented, but that's also why the films were great, because we had such an amazing team and passionate team. Now I'm waffling, so hang around, get some more drinks, and thank you for coming to our screening. Thanks, Tim, you're the best. And thank you everyone.